crowdfunding group. Jamie Meredith and the crew. You don't get any better than those guys. Anyway, hey, look, today we're going to do something a little different. Our interview is going to be pretty cool, as if it's not before, but we're going to put something together. Our spotlight goes to Texas, but ends up in Louisiana. WTF is really expecting a dead vacation. So, Ryan, what's the buzz this week?
Jeff, I think the buzz this week has got to be a buzz that not only was buzz in the funeral profession, but really all over the globe, specifically in the United States, was the Supreme Court's ruling to uphold the firing of a transgender person from a funeral home in Detroit. This has created pretty much of a firestorm of comments, and we've gotten a bunch on Connecting Directors as well, but it's been a trending topic on Facebook and Twitter for multiple days.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting because it's a private family firm that had pretty much expectations and regs coming in, yet the Supreme Court said that's the way it's going to be. So yeah. I don't think this is over by any stretch of the imagination. Speaking of those comments, he had one that's pretty interesting. Will you read that one out loud?
Yeah, this came from a young lady that's a reader of Connecting Directors, and she said, I understand in this case, but a lot of funeral homes, especially in the South, are completely old school and discrimination runs rampant. I've been cast out of the mortuary field several times simply because I'm a woman. A younger, non-hag woman who can embalm better than most men, so I'm immediately seen as a threat. If it's not for that reason, it's because I won't drop my pants for them.
Wow, there's two things that speak to me there. If they're throwing you out for a woman, here's a chance to change to a man. Sorry, Lord, forgive me for that. But this is starting to get nuts because you had another guy on there that was talking about nuts and bolts coming out of people's heads.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with transgender. So maybe we should have a show on so we can really go through every group, of who belongs to what, and that way we could all get it straight. Sort of an educational program. What I'm saying?
There you go. I don't think this is going to be a dead issue at all. I think this is going to be ongoing, and we're going to have a lot of discussion about this, and there's going to be new rules and regs and all kinds of different things. So,
yeah. So here we go. Well, this interview was brought to us, not the interview, but the buzz segment by Funeral DNA ID. They do a simple collection of DNA that stays right in the funeral home, and you don't have to send it out of the country. It's ridiculous sending stuff across the border, especially some families' DNA. Anyway, let's roll the Funeral DNA ID promo.
You can't predict the future, however, you can protect your business and the families you're serving. Funeral DNA ID kits that collect and preserve DNA during the cremation and burial process. Swab, spot, seal, legacy preserve. For more information, please visit funeraldnaid.com.
Hey, Ryan, today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's a twist on our The More You Know Minute, expand it into an interview with you.
Yeah.
So FNers, our guest today is Ryan Thogmartin, founder of Disrupt Media, Connecting Directors, Disrupt You, and my co-host. Yeah, you heard him laugh back there. It is hilarious.
Well, Funeral Commander, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Most people know my background, so I'll make it short and sweet. Started ConnectingDirectors.com in 2007. It's now the largest online funeral publication in the world, serving 45,000 funeral directors a month from 212 different countries. And in 2013, I launched Disrupt Media. My background is online marketing and advertising, so I've been taking that kind of stance and role in the profession since I started Connecting Directors, which led to starting Disrupt Media in 2013. We beta tested our process with a handful of funeral homes and rolled it out to the masses in 2015. We now have worked with hundreds of funeral homes across the U.S., Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, so all over the globe. That brings us up to 2016. We're still crushing it.
Beautiful. So Disrupt Media is truly a social media company. Tell us a little bit about onboarding new clients and give us an example of the results of your work.
Yeah, for sure. So Disrupt Media is a full-blown social media agency. What that means is we help funeral homes with strategy, managing content, and full-blown analytics to achieve business goals. We don't do anything else. We're not SEO. We're not website. We're not an earn company. We're not You know, we don't do software. We only do social media. That's it, hands down. Nothing else. Social media. So what onboarding looks like is we got a process we walk every funeral home through. Every client, we really try to narrow down what the biggest problem in their business is, and we look for ways that social media can achieve goals and help address that problem. And we have not come up against a problem that cannot be addressed by social media. It's amazing. Not every funeral home sits in a box. Not every funeral home is the same as every other funeral home. Every funeral home has a different need, and it's finding that organic need and the organic content that's going to help achieve a goal that's going to address that need and fix that need. And we've had great success with it. And real business results and leads can be driven through social media engagements if done correctly.
Got it. Well, you just mentioned organic, and I know that's not something that you paid 20 cents more for in the vegetable store. So what's the difference between organic content and generic content?
Look, everybody's seen generic content and everybody's seen organic content. Organic content is finding something that's real and valuable and transparent, specific to one funeral home. Generic content is something that can be blanketed across every funeral home. It's the sappy dog pictures. It's the grief and inspirational quotes. It's the
we care more.
Yeah,
we
care
give better
more.
Service. We've been serving since Sherman burnt down the South.
That's it. It's pre-need now, or pre-planned now with old couples. And you know what? Some of that content has a place because some of it does work and it's lighthearted and it gets people engaged, but it's not content that's going to move a needle and achieve a goal. So I want to give you two quick examples, Jeff, of what organic content looks like and why it's valuable. And when we go through a process with the client, we help them set goals of what they want to achieve. And these are the types of things that come out of the content and brainstorm sessions that we do with a client. Client in Texas said, hey, you've told us that video gets primary focus in the newsfeed. Facebook will push live video up the newsfeed higher, show it to more people. How can we incorporate that into our social strategy? So we devised a plan with a client to do National Boredom Month. Anti-Boredom Month is July. So the plan was that they hide in a room and hide in closets and they scare other funeral directors when they walk into the room, and we put that video together and put it on Facebook. It's got engagement from thousands of people in their community. It's reached over 10,000 people within 10 miles of the funeral home. Wow. It achieved a couple of different goals. One, we incorporated video into their strategy. It got priority in the newsfeed. Two, the engagement was high. Three, it showed transparency, and it got every single funeral director in that funeral home engaged in social media some way, which gave them some ownership over it and really helped those employees become the best social media advocates for the funeral home. Another quick example, we have a funeral home in South Carolina that said, hey, we really want to show how we give back to the community, but not in a boastful way. How can we do it? We said, all right, back to school's coming up. Let's do a video, show you guys filling book bags with school supplies, and ask people to comment and share the video, and you're going to give one book bag away for every school district that's in your county. So they're going to give away 5 book bags. They're going to choose people from the comments that deserved a book bag because they left that in the comments, and that exploded organically. It was not boosted. That video reached over 20,000 people. It was shared a few hundred times. There were thousands of comments, and what the funeral home realized, like, hey, the need for book bags is far greater than just one per school district, and it prompted them to launch a week-long book bag drive at the funeral home where they got people in the community to fill 125 book bags full of school supplies, drop them off the funeral home, and then the funeral home delivered 25 to each school district in their county. So wow. They blessed 125 different families with book bags and school supplies for the entire year for one of their children. So extremely wow. powerful, and just show that, again, is organic. You're not going to get that out of just putting out and paying for generic content. That's the organic that really creates value and helps achieve a mission and a goal.
Wow, that's serious. I mean, you can't get that out of the traditional media.
No.
What should funeral homes look for in a social media company like yours?
Well, they should look for someone that really is all in on social media. I say it all the time. If you watch Disrupt You, someone that's a practitioner of the network. We understand the network. We live on it. We engage in it. But, are they all in on social media? Are they doing other things and offering other services, and social media is just a byproduct of those services? And 2, are they going to help you create a strategy? Is there a strategy in place that's measurable, that the end goal is achieving a business goal through a process that's time stamped? And do they have a process for social? Are they helping you create that organic content, or is that up to you and you're just buying automated generic content? And there's a big
Right.
difference for real-time content versus automated generic content.
I'm with you. So you're recognized as a premier social media expert in the funeral industry. From your vantage point, knowing what you do, what frustrates you most about the industry as a whole?
Two things. One, funeral professionals are still very romantic about what used to work because they did it well. They were really good at direct mail. They're really good at yellow page ads. And they're afraid to try something new because they're still in love with the old, even though the old's dying. Second is everybody that thinks they're a social media company just because they have content that they've created and they can sell it. That's probably the biggest frustration, because it's really hurting funeral homes because they're not showing value in social media when they're just selling content, because funeral homes don't know what to do with the content on their own. So it's important that, I don't know, that drives me up the wall the most. Look, I don't care if every funeral home uses us. If there's another social media company out there, I think we're the best. I know we're the best. But if there's another one out there that's going to help you achieve results, great. I'm glad you're getting involved in social media, but I really can't stand companies that are selling social media services as a secondary item because there's quick money grab there.
I'm with you. And so, like having, as the funeral industry calls those direct disposal people out there,
Mhm.
they're just tasteful. Anyway, hey, look, if a funeral home owner wants to get started, what is your direct cremation price to get started with the value that you
Bottom
show?
line, we can get any funeral home in the door at $395 a month.
Whew, that's a deal. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, allowing me to interview today.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you allowing me to be a part of the show for once.
Yeah, I'll trade up with you sometime. This interview segment was brought to us by Sitch Caskets. By the way, speaking of effing brand and effing chain and using social media, these guys are absolutely disrupting the industry. They're setting fire out here in the cornfields. Anyway, roll that promo.
Funeral Nation is sponsored by Sitch Casket, importers of premium hardwood and fine metal caskets created exclusively for the North American marketplace. Is it a Sitch casket or one of the top U.S. brands? Only your accountant can tell the difference. Visit Sitch Casket or contact your Sitch distributor.
Commander, that was a fantastic interview segment, I have to
think so,
say.
too.
I mean, but
Compelling.
I think that our spotlight segment today is going to trump all over that interview. Who's our spotlight going to shine on?
As everyone knows, our spotlight is to shine the light on funeral professionals and funeral directors making a difference in their community. This week, we shine the spotlight on Mark Crowder of Crowder Funeral Homes of Pearland, Texas. Mark is part of an organization called the Crawfish Foundation that raises money for Camp Hope, which is for veterans with PTSD. The foundation got together recently and solicited their community to fill 4.5 18-wheeler trucks full of much-needed essentials and food for flood victims over in Louisiana. I talked with Mark. He shared with me that it was just a life-changing experience talking with ministers, talking with people receiving, and that, frankly, he's really doing a wonderful thing, not only for our profession, but just as a human being in general. So thank you, Mark. Thank you to the Crawfish Foundation, and also thank you to the Crowder Funeral Home for leading the way.
Absolutely. Fantastic spotlight segment. And that spotlight segment was actually sent in to us by another funeral director and a vendor friend that was in the know. So that's what I love about this.
Dylan Stouffer, hey, man,
Yeah.
thank you. You're the man.
It's fantastic. If you have a spotlight segment or someone that needs the light to be spotlighted out on them, make sure you let us know.
Boy, I tell you what, I need to put the spotlight on you, see what you've been drinking this morning.
Tongue-tied, brother. Tongue-tied. All right.
Gotcha. Who brought the spotlight segment? I think it's our friends at Homesteader.
That's right. Homesteaders Life Company, and they are the pre-need insurance leaders. Let's roll that Homesteaders promo.
Homesteaders Life Company is proud to be the most often used pre-need funding company among the nationally recognized providers according to a recent independent study by McGuire Research. Homesteaders celebrating 110 years of strength, security, and commitment to promoting the value of funeral service.
Okay, now we move into our WTF segment. A lighthearted look at something funny in our profession that makes you say, "What the funeral?" This one hits a little close to home for me because I'm a big camper, And
Yeah,
I can't ever
you're
see
a
me.
camper guy, and I kind of looked at this the first time. I thought, wow, somebody's planning on a really dead vacation. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is one of the casket sales folks going out there making a round trip.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, but uh, there used to be a mobile center, that would go around the country like this. Maybe this is what it's produced to now to show off the value of a casket. I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea, but I've never seen one of these pull into the campground we're at, but I guess I
Yeah,
suppose it happens. But what's really interesting to me, Jeff, is that we're so convinced in this profession that nobody wants to talk about death, yet every week our WTF segment features somebody, some consumer, doing something like this, pulling a casket, having a casket for sale. It's interesting that nobody wants to talk about it, yet you're able to find all of this random organic content every week.
I'm with you. It's time to have that talk we've heard out here.
That sure
Anyway,
is.
who brought us this WTF segment?
WTF segment is brought to us by Disrupt Media and the Disrupt You show. Roll that promo.
At Disrupt Media, we're a social media content agency that focuses on storytelling for funeral companies. We use real stories to build creative strategies that achieve actual business goals. Want to learn more? Visit disruptmedia.co.
This wraps up episode 45. Thank God, because I am tongue-tied as all get out today. What do we have on deck for next week?
Well, you're going to have some of our effing fans out there saying that you're high again, right?
Probably. It gives us something to talk about.
I'm sober. I'm drinking my M&M's early this
Unless
morning.
the
out
smart
here
water's
at the
got, I
Command
don't
Post.
know.
Yeah. So episode 46, we'll probably do a really interesting interview where it's reversed. We'll always have a WTF segment in the spotlight. So thank you guys for watching.
Yep. Take care. Until next time, have a great effing week.
Out here.